Hi, my name is Ries. This is my AUT-240 introduction video. So I am from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was born and raised there, about 40 minutes south of Albuquerque, actually, in a town called Peralta. I went to high school in Albuquerque, did everything out there, so I guess I consider myself from there. I started getting interested in automotive when I was in high school. When I started, my friends started to get cars and get their licenses, and I got my first vehicle and got my license. My first vehicle was a 2013 Ram 1500, and it had a 4.7 liter with an automatic, and it was a great vehicle. It had about 175,000 on it before the lifters started to go, and I sold it back to a dealership. I then owned a 2014 Super Impreza 5-speed. I then bought a 07 STI, Subaru WRX STI. Then I now currently own a 1993 F-150 and a dirt bike. And so I guess I started getting into automotive because I just enjoyed and saw how everything worked, and I just thought it was really interesting. My grandfather really got me into it. He loved old vehicles. His dream car was old 60s Thunderbird. He really enjoyed those cars. He also liked the Chrysler Crossfires, the SRT6s from the 2000s. I don't have much automotive experience in the work field. I haven't been really had a chance to do anything with that. I've been working mostly with travel service here on SIU's campus. I have been going to SIU for 2 years now. This is my third. I'm a junior. And yeah, I guess I'll show you my cars now. Alright, so these are all the vehicles that I've owned so far in my life. This first one was a 2013 Dodge Ram 1500. It was a 4.7 liter V8 that made almost no power with an auto trans. And it was very enjoyable to drive. It was a great truck. It worked all the time, and it was just fun to drive. It was my first vehicle. I really wish I hadn't sold this truck, but you know, we make decisions. The next vehicle that I owned was a 2014 Subaru Impreza with a 2-liter boxer and a 5-speed manual. And this car was a car I had pretty much all of high school. It was pretty fun considering it was a manual, but it also blew up on me about 4 times. The first time was due to my own negligence, obviously, and then every time after that was within about 50 to 500 miles after the mechanic had told me it was fixed after 3 months of waiting. And eventually, after being charged continually, we decided to go and just have the mechanic put a new motor in it. And yeah, I ended up selling that car, and it's still running to this day, to my knowledge. This next vehicle that I bought was my favorite car that I've ever owned and probably ever will own. It was a 2007 Subaru WRX STI. It was my first sports type car. It was so much fun to drive. There were so many different unique things about it. It had an EJ257 with a long gear 6-speed manual in it, and that was my first ever 6-speed, first ever nice trans. I loved it until I sold it. I unfortunately did have to sell it, but sometimes we need money. Then this next vehicle that I had is my most recent vehicle, is a 1993 Ford F-150. I love this truck. It's a 5.0 connected to a 5-speed manual. It's a 4-wheel drive, no airbags, all the cool safety stuff. But my mom bought this originally in 1993, so it's technically a one-owner. According to the title, since I have it in my name now, it's a two-owner, but it's within family, so I consider that a one-owner. But the truck is around 219,000 miles on it. I just drove it across the country from Albuquerque all the way to Highland, Illinois, and then back down here to Carbondale, and it's made plenty of St. Louis trips and never let me down, and I love this truck. And then my last vehicle I also own currently, which is a dirt bike, and it is a custom 110 120 pound aluminum frame with a Japanese 4-stroke pit bike motor attached to it, and it actually gets up and goes. It's a really enjoyable car. I got this from a really good friend of mine from back home. His stepdad decided to give it to me because I asked him over summer break how much he wanted for it, because I've really been wanting to buy a motorcycle, and he just decided that, hey, if you want to fix it, you can take it. So that's what I decided to do. But that's all the vehicles that I have. Thank you.